All right, Coach. Tough result in this one. Just take me through what you saw tonight.
Yeah, disappointing result because I thought the result doesn't really reflect how we played. And I always want to watch video before I pass judgment on anything. But my first impression from the game is that we actually were able to execute a game plan at a high level. I think we forced Marshall to play a bit more direct than they typically would, and limited their chances. I don't feel like I leave that game thinking that it was a lopsided match with a lot of chances for Marshall and none for UCF. I thought we really limited them. Unfortunately, they caught us on a couple of moments early where I have already seen the goals and we can do better and we need to do better, because I think that there are things that are things we should deal with and shouldn't be as dangerous as they ended up in that game.
Yeah. How big was it for you to have Wanvi and Luca both coming back in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was clear they do make a difference, right? You add those guys to the lineup, and our ability to play out of the back with Wanvi and his presence back there was something that helped us in the game, because Marshall will go and press you a little bit higher than other teams, and Wanvi is involved a lot, and his distribution was helpful. And then obviously Luca's dangerous and a presence. He can hold the ball up. He's dangerous in the box, and I thought he was going to get one there at the end where the cross came in and he put it back across. The goalkeeper made a really good save, and I know both those guys with a little bit more time in the team are going to be better still. So that's their first match in quite some time. Both are out probably six or so weeks, and that's a really good start from both of them, despite the result.
So how would you say now that they look like, how is their rehab process going, and how would you say their status is going forward in terms of just health and all that?
Yeah, I think both came through the game with no setbacks. That's important, and so they're going to build fitness. They're going to build fitness through games, which are different, and they're going to build fitness through training, and they'll get sharper and sharper. And I think obviously their best performances are ahead of them.
So obviously, they got you really early with that goal in minute 15. I mean, like, what happens when you end up getting caught off guard like that?
Yeah, I think overall, like, we responded really well. There was no one hung their heads, no one stopped playing, no one the reaction was the opposite, and even when we went a man down, no one dropped their head. Everyone went to work to try to get a goal back, and so I think it's great that mentality within our team is so important that we just have to keep going, which I think is a sign of belief. And despite the results not being in our favor, the last two, I think we should have a lot of belief. I think we have an excellent team, and if we can address some of the issues that we have in terms of conceding goals, then I think now things can look very differently for the rest of the season with results.
Yeah, again, the red card, had some discussions with the ref during this one. Just what's your perspective on that stuff?
Yeah, I would have to watch that moment back. My initial thought was that wasn't a yellow card, and that he, the ball was there to be won. He was trying to shoot the ball, and the last second this player comes in to make a tackle, and I do think Javi got the ball as he was shooting and then also got the man. So is it a foul? Yeah, it's probably a foul. Now, whether that's a card, whether that's a cautionable offense, my first thought is no.
When you like do that, because obviously there's like judgment calls to be made out there. Like, when you as a coach, like, when do you kind of take the moment, like, now like this is where, like, I need to say something?
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Because they have a difficult job. I understand that things happen really fast, and they might have a different angle to us. Maybe their angle's better, maybe their angle's worse. So I think in that case, where I believe the referee can go to VAR and make a decision around that, and that's a really important moment in the game to issue a second yellow. The fact that we didn't go to VAR, that we didn't review that and make sure that that was the right call. I think this is where VAR has a problem in college soccer, right? Because there's not a guy in the booth. The referee on the field has to make the decision. He has to decide to review it, and what he decides to review versus not review. It's difficult to say what goes into that decision-making process, but all in all, I was disappointed that moment resulted in a player, but because I'd want him to go and win that ball. I'd want him to be aggressive in that moment. And he was clearly trying to win the ball. And I think there was some inconsistency. There were some moments where, we broke and we were fouled. We were fouled from behind. And I expect a card to come out in that moment because it's clearly a tactical foul. Great idea from whether it's our player or their player, especially if you don't get a card for it, but then you get to do it again. So I think there were moments like that I was surprised. But again, referees have a difficult job. And before I could pass judgment, for sure, I'd have to see the video back.
Last one for Coach.
What did you see from this match that you want to either improve on or see going forward? Is now you got Old Dominion, you're gonna Kentucky, and as you kind of make the run for the Sun Belt tournament.
Yeah, I think we have to look at how we're conceding, and I think if we can limit those moments and do better in those moments, then I think there's a path for us to get better results. And that's something we have to work on.
Awesome. Best of luck, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.